So yes, for sellers, we tell them, they listen, if there's anything in the house that you don't want somebody to know that you got, put it away. If you got
Yeah.
firearms, take them with you.
Yeah.
Prescription drugs, especially, the highly sought after ones, take them with you. Get them out of the house. Don't leave anybody an opportunity.
Thank you for joining us today, Bits by Bacon. My name is Misty. I am the host, and today I have the pleasure of visiting with Hudson Mitch Willis. He is a realtor in Florida, and he is a Ramsey trusted agent. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I just wanted to thank you, Mitch, for joining me today all the way from sunny Florida.
Hey, I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So what's the temperature now? Are you like 90,000% humidity, or is it only 10%?
We're right here. What's today? The 13th of May. The temperature's been pretty good. We've been in a drought the past couple months, and so the last couple of days we've had nothing but rain, which was needed. But the temperature's been nice to be out, to be outside.
Good.
Not raining.
Okay, good. Because there's been a couple of days here where I was like, are we in August? Because I feel like I'm going to die.
That's typical Florida as well.
So share with our guest, how did you get into real estate? Because your background was in law enforcement. So talk about that.
Yeah, so it's a long story. We don't have all the time, so I will give you the cliff notes on it. So, yeah, I was raised in a grocery store, hardware store with my grandparents. I was raised always working around the public. I graduated from college, went into law enforcement, did that, and ended up buying my grandparents' hardware store business. We ran that for about 10 years, and then I got out of that. We had to close it down and went back to work in law enforcement. So I worked in there about 7 years, and really kind of got to where I was like, I wanted to go back to work for myself. And I wanted something that would basically compensate me for the time I put in. So in other words, the harder I worked, the more money I could make. I could see the fruits of my labor. So anyway, I was talking to my wife about it, and she said, what about real estate? Which was weird, because if you know my wife, she likes that guaranteed income. She likes knowing, okay, every week this is coming in. So anyway,
I just chose the wrong profession.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, we did some research on it. I talked to some friends of mine that were in real estate. I talked to one friend of mine that had made the transition from law enforcement to real estate. Anyway, I made the jump, and man, and it has taken off. I never dreamed that I would be where I'm at today when I started this.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you and having a team. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So from a police officer's perspective, what kind of security measures would you give to your seller clients? Like for a house, you're getting a listing. Does your law enforcement mind say, okay, put away the prescriptions, put away the whatever? What is it, your law enforcement, you think, background that guides them on what they should do? Or is it just something we all should be aware of?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. One thing as realtors, we're always told, when you're walking through the house with buyers, you don't let them go into bathrooms, any places where there could be prescription drugs. Because at the end of the day, if something's stolen, it's coming back. You're going to be the first person they're talking to.
Correct.
Yes, for sellers, we tell them, listen, if there's anything in the house that you don't want somebody to know that you got, put it away. If you got firearms, take them with you. Prescription drugs, especially, the highly sought after ones, take them with you. Get them out of the house. Don't leave anybody an opportunity. So yes, that's a very good question that we do have with our sellers.
And from a realtor's perspective, because you have a team, what kind of advice do you give them? I know our MLS, we use Forewarn, we can use Forewarn, and I also use a buddy system. I have about 5 people. I'm a broker, I own my own company, but I text probably 3 people, just, hey, I'm going to show property, this is where I'm going to be. And then now being married, if it's nights and weekends, my husband likes to ride along. So that has been also helpful to have, a man waiting for me and or coming with me. Sometimes I'll introduce them, this is my assistant, or this is, one of my agents. So what do you tell your agents coming onto your team how to protect themselves?
Yeah, so what I normally do, I tell them, yes, we have Forewarn, we have that, and I tell them, check everybody, unless you know them personally, you check them out. And every one of them are married. And so they always let their husbands and spouses know, where they're going and where they'll be at. But I always tell them too, because I have a team of ladies, and I say, listen, At any point in time, you don't feel good about something, you just leave. Just walk away,
Right.
get out of it. I said, because, and we'll deal with, if something goes south after that, we'll deal with it. But the main thing is your safety. So if at any point, if even in the middle of a showing, something don't make you feel right, get out of the house. Just get in your
Yes.
car and leave. We'll deal with it later.
Yes.
So yeah.
Have you in Florida heard of any crazy stories? Not necessarily bad, but just what is a crazy story? Like I've shown property where there was a vine with flowers growing through the sheetrock, like through the sheetrock near the window, but it was coming in through the sheetrock. I'm like, how long does that happen before like someone's not noticing this before you do something about it? But you guys, well, so you're kind of north of the Panhandle, correct?
Yeah, we're right here between Tallahassee, Florida and Panama City, Florida. Panama
Okay.
City.
So do y'all have a lot of alligators by you?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're
Okay.
living in a very rural area where the Apalachicola National Forest is.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you got it all.
Yep, yep.
And a lot of your properties, do y'all do a lot of land, farm, ranch, special fun goats and farms and things?
Oh yeah, yeah. Where I'm at, like I said, I'm in Liberty County, so it's a very rural county. So you're about a 45 minutes an hour from Tallahassee, which is the capital of Florida. Then you're about an hour from Panama City Beach, which is another large area. So, but where we're at, and we do cover those areas, but our meat and potatoes, you could say, is right here in Liberty Calhoun County,
Okay.
so which is rural. So anyway, yeah. So if you're going to list here, you've got to be knowledgeable in vacant land. You got to not be knowledgeable in regular single family residence, and also mobile homes. Those are your
Gotcha.
three main things. You can't really just pick one and go with it because you'd probably starve.
Right.
So
Right.
we get a lot. We catch all of it, which is good. I mean, it just makes us more knowledgeable.
Sure. And is your area, do you have a lot of tourism? So like Airbnbs, those long-term, short-term rentals?
There are a handful in Liberty County. There's not a whole lot. Mainly, if people are buying a property, sometimes they're doing it for rentals, just straight up, long
Mhm.
term rentals. But we do have some Airbnbs that are starting to pop up.
Okay. And then tell our listeners, I know what a Ramsey trusted agent is, but tell us what a Ramsey trusted agent is. Did you go through as a couple with your wife through his program before you were a realtor, or did you not know about him until you got into real estate?
Yeah, no. So we learned about Dave Ramsey, probably I think around 2012 through our church, and so that's how we got to know him. We've been through the program, and then once I got into real estate, I saw that they were looking for referral agents, and I had reached out to them initially, but they have a strict process they go through. They vet you. You've got to have so many
Right.
sales, so many transactions, and then there's an interview process that you go through, and so they just don't take just anybody, as a referral because you're representing their name, and they don't want anybody,
For sure.
ruining their name. So there is a process you go through to get that endorsement.
Have you been able to use some of the principles that they teach? I know they have the steps. My husband and I had done financial peace at our church, and then he had done it years ago. And so we were like, okay, we need to have save this amount of money. We're going to do this. I just paid my car off, and he's like, so we should trade it in. I'm like, I just paid it off. No, we're not going to have another car note for at least 3 years. And then we're going to save, and we're paying cash for a car. But this background has been good for you to encourage. I don't know, do you sometimes meet maybe tenants that are, and this has happened to me several times, they don't think they can buy. They think they have to put 20% down or whatever. Are you able to use these skills to be able to educate not only renters but also home buyers on, hey, just because you're approved for 700,000 doesn't mean you should buy a home 100,000.
Yeah, we get a lot of first time home buyers, and I tell them, tell them the process, that you can get a FHA loan, conventional loan, could be a USDA loan, and I explain to them, that some of these have different costs at the end. Some of them could be more expensive, but we go through that process, and I tell them, first thing you need to do is talk to a lender, see kind of where are we working at, what area. And I said they might come back and tell you you're approved for $500,000, but that don't mean that you want to spend $500,000. Figure out what's going to work in your budget, but that's not going to make you house poor.
Sure.
Figure out what works for you, and then tell them, hey, listen, this is what we want to spend a month, and they can tell you what that price point needs to be, so we know what to be looking at.
Right.
But that's one thing I push to them. Is just don't make yourself house poor. Don't go out and buy something. We're going to see a lot of nice homes, but don't do anything that's going to in a year just make you hate life in general. Buying a home is supposed to
For sure.
buying a home is supposed to be something that brings peace and stability to your life, but not cause chaos.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And if something goes wrong or bad or frustrating, like we're the ones that they remember the rest of the time they're in the house if something goes bad. So I have come to adding to my resume firefighter, detective, therapist.
Yep.
And
I
so
agree.
yeah, so you have a team. I did do a little bit of Facebook stalking. So your wife had made some posts. Is she in real estate also, or was it just some of her posts were joking about also being in real estate because you're married to someone doing real estate? They're pretty much in it too.
Yeah, no. So cool thing about her, she kind of like I fell into real estate. She fell into social media. She has passed her course to take her state board, so she's not taking her state boards yet. But man, her talent is at social media.
Oh, good. Well, good.
She keeps that thing hot, and so yeah, that's what she does. And I can tell you, 99% of our leads come from our social media that we do.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is amazing. So I have a couple of questions that are kind of off the cuff, but I always ask my guests two questions. The first one is, what advice would you give your 22-year-old self? Words of wisdom, lessons to look out for. What would you tell your 22-year-old self?
Oh gosh, I would say, I'm trying to think of the word.
It's hard, right?
But yeah, throw that out there to me. Is be wise with your money. Be wise with your money. That as getting a retirement account set up early in life, I think is a big thing to do. And then if you're able to, start investing in real estate. I've only been in this since 2021. I'm 52 years old now, and I look back and, in the last 5 years that I've been doing this, I see people that bought property 20, 30 years ago, and they're selling it for, cashing out for a good amount of money. I'm like,
Absolutely.
wow. But that's the best place to park your money, but it's long term. Don't try to do something and make it quick, because I know a lot of people do flips, and that's fine, but you got to know what you're doing, or you could really hurt yourself on that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that real estate is a good long-term investment to do.
Houston is notorious. We have a lot of companies out there that are flippers, investors. Do you have a lot of that there as well?
We have some. It's not a main thing here, but we do get people that will buy homes and turn around and flip them. But it's not not in my immediate area. It's not a big thing.
Gotcha. Okay. And then my last question is, what do you want to be remembered for? So you have kiddos. Didn't you just have a wedding? Not you personally, but you probably helped pay for a wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So my daughter just got married, and
Congratulations.
she's our only daughter. And so it was mixed emotions, but we gained a son-in-law who is awesome, and he's in law enforcement as well.
Okay.
So yeah, he's awesome. So we gained a great son-in-law. I can't complain. But I think what I want to be remembered is that people, to say that that I always treated people honestly, fairly, and with respect, and that I generally cared about them. I mean, that's the way I want to, be remembered, and it's nothing to do with money. It's just I just want people to remember how I treated them.
Yes, that's amazing. And that's probably your grandparents, being around your grandparents so much, they probably instilled that, because I feel like my mom and dad would go out of town and we would stay with my grandparents. And so we're cooking, we're baking. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please and thank you. And nowadays, I don't know the last time I heard someone say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. It's because I'm also 52. And we used to be stabbed with a fork in our elbow if we didn't say please or thank you or no, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, and it does. Like I said, I was raised up in my grandparents' hardware. They had an IGA grocery store and Ace Hardware, and I was raised up in that. And I saw them just go above and beyond just to help people out. I mean, there were plenty of times that people would come to my granddad, needing some groceries, and he'd be like, all right, we put it on credit for you. And he didn't know if they were going to pay him, but he was like, son, if you can help somebody, help them. And
For sure.
And and it'll come back around to you. And it did. He was very successful, and but he was always helping people. So
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I
awesome.
carried that on.
At their hardware store, did they have layaway? Did they do the layaway where people can take it with them, but they made payments, or they had to come and make payments until they could take it, the lawnmower or whatever they needed?
Yeah. They did do that. A lot of times they'd be like, "Hey, just take it. We'll just open your account and do it."
Gotcha.
Every now and then they might get burned on something, but
Yeah,
the risk versus reward was like, listen, majority of people, Mitch, are going to take care of us. If one gets by us, we ain't worried about it.
for sure. For sure. Well, and it sounds like you brought that into your real estate business too. I appreciate what you do. I'm a fellow realtor and I've been in it since 2007, and it's ups and downs, highs and lows, but it is amazing to be able to help someone. My greatest joy is to help someone that didn't think they could purchase. That
Yeah.
has been my biggest joy, in just the satisfaction that they have of, my niche, I feel like, is turning renters into buyers, and not in a, because I'm going to get a commission. It's literally a, like, guiding them, and they're renters from me for 5-10 years, and we're tweaking things, and we're, saving money. And of course, they're also my greatest referral source too. So
Right. Yep.
I've gotten a lot of deals out of some of my rental clients. So I cherish that. But I thank you for coming on and sharing a little bit of Sunnyside, Florida with us today.
Thank you for having me on. Glad to be here.
Okay, well, I appreciate you. And remember, everybody loves bacon. Thanks for hanging out with me on Bits by Bacon. Be sure to follow, leave a review, and send this to that friend who always wants the inside scoop in and around the Houston area. I'll see you next time with more stories, real estate talk, and a little bit of everything in between. And remember, everybody loves bacon.